Hi, and welcome to a presentation about usability testing. I'm Ethen. We have Ingvild, Luke, and Minh. And in this presentation, we're just going to be talking about research into our websites and also how we went about testing them. We'll finish off with some recommendations regarding how to improve them. Usability testing is a method in which the users are tested in how they use something in order to get an idea about how real people interact with websites. It can be used both to improve the website's design as well as navigation. It's made up of 5 areas. There's design, which is how well the feature integrates into the user's mental model of the system. Learnability, which is how quickly the user learns how to use it. The efficiency, which is how quickly the user can actually navigate through the website. User satisfaction, which is whether the user is happy with their experience. And also errors, which is what mistakes the user has made.
Okay, let's talk about the preliminary research. So the website that we're choosing is PTV and Airbnb. We have made some key observations of the two websites. For the PTV, we found that the image banner is stand out the most, but it feels really uneven and really tilted to the left. The journey planners stand out the most, and we also found that they have too many information crammed and might be overwhelming to user, and they use a highly contrasting color scheme. And about the experience, it's really easy to use for the local, but it's hard to use for foreigners and tourists because there's not much explanation going on. About the design layout of the website is clear, but there's too much information on the home page, which is hard to navigate and will confuse users. About the learnability, we found that it was easy to know which button to click next for information. However, we found that it was quite hard to search for route and addresses. It required the exact address and the venue to use the search function, and it relies heavily on the pre-existing knowledge of the city, the surrounding suburbs, and train lines. Therefore, we found out that it was not efficient and takes too much time to plan a journey and navigate. Therefore, the user satisfaction is vastly different between a local and a tourist. To a local, it's easy to use and learn because they have pre-existing knowledge, but for foreigners, it's confusing and unhandy. About the arrows, there's some error because of the confusing destination and navigation. Let's move on to Airbnb. Some key observation that we've made is that we found out the website simple and not complicated to use. They have labeled out all the information and header really clear, and they have a cozy and welcoming background. About the design, it's accessible, contemporary, and consistent. The white space allows room for user to breathe, and the tab is consistent. The interface simple enough, and the information is easy to find, and the page feel like a search engine for accommodation. About learnability, the website is easy to follow because it has instructions to help you perform tasks quickly and accurately. The user-friendly header bar make it easy to change the language and currency, and they have really simple home page for you to find the exact venue of the place that you want to stay. But the efficiency is quick, simple, and easy. Therefore, users are really satisfied with the website. We feel that the website is trustworthy, effective, intuitive, and easy to navigate. And we couldn't find any error at first. Okay, then how do we measure the success of our usability test? The first aspect will be the design. First, we will ask users for the impression of the website, and then we'll see whether they need us to direct them to which button that they need to click on, and see whether they struggle to click on the button. About the learnability, we will ask whether they've used the site before, and we will create tasks that allows them to interact with page and see whether they can navigate easily. And then we will ask for their opinion whether the website was easy to navigate. We will also measure their efficiency by timing the task and see how much a user do a task, and we will record any difficulty they have in navigating the site. For user satisfaction, we will ask for comparison about this website and all the alternatives that they might have used, and see whether they have any difficulty throughout the task, and we will ask if they use the site again. For the arrows, we will see if they have any difficulty in locating a link, and to see if they have any difficulty difficulty or if it was time consuming to complete a task.
For the usability test, we had 20 people ranging from different age groups participating. We guided the participants on how to complete the test through a moderator's guide, which was designed for us to look at while conducting the usability test. We had all the tasks and steps listed right in front of us to look at all times, but we only used it for reference in case the audience needed assistance. The goal was to let them figure out how to complete the steps on their own. Before starting the test, we introduced ourselves and explained the process and goals for the test for the participants, and we let them know that they could ask us questions before starting. The first website they were asked to test was PTV. For task 1, we asked them to plan a journey, and for task 2, we wanted them to find out how to purchase a Mikey. After completing the tasks, they were asked to answer some questions based on the usability and impressions of the website. The second website they were asked to test was Airbnb. For task 1, we wanted them to find accommodation ready to be booked, and for task 2, we wanted them to find out how to become a host. Again, after completing the tasks, they were asked to answer some questions based on their impression of the website. For the results, most users found it inconvenient to not be able to search by venue. The notable features, image, and banner did not provide positive experience. More than half of our users couldn't finish tasks without assistance, and user interface and layout was not intuitive and user-friendly since it required too many steps to finish a task. Most users thought the interface was clear, minimal, simple, and direct. The use of images and videos are cozy and inviting. Half of our users haven't used an online booking site before, but 90% were able to complete every task. Some users had difficulties with the search engine, filter feature, and become a host section.
With these results, we could make comparisons between how each of the sites operated from the user's perspective. Most people found that the design was very confusing for PTV, and there was a misunderstanding about what the site was for or how to navigate different areas. Whereas with Airbnb, the homepage was inviting and minimalist, and this permeated their entire experience and made it a positive. With the learnability, the confusing layout of the PTV made it difficult to pick up, and people rated the navigation almost 2 points lower than Airbnb. People found that Airbnb alternatively was much easier to use, especially people that had used both of the sites before found that Airbnb was much easier to remember the steps and they'd forgotten how to get around PTV's sites. With the efficiency, you can see that Airbnb was much quicker to complete the tasks on average, and we aimed the tasks to be similar so that we could get an accurate comparison. The main areas that people struggled was finding the disruptions tab and where to purchase the Mikeys, and people got confused with Airbnb just a bit about when they were actually searching for the accommodation. With user satisfaction, the confusing layout and difficulty navigating PTV meant that users were unlikely to use it again, and they'd opt for a more streamlined platform such as Google Maps. Additionally, about half of the people needed assistance to complete the tasks, and a lot of them weren't able to. Whereas compared to Airbnb, only 2 people needed assistance, and most people stated that they've already had previous and enjoyable interactions with Airbnb. The PTV links were very confusing, and often users clicked on a couple of different things before actually figuring out the right one to go to, and some of the links weren't very obvious that they were interactive. The main error that we saw with Airbnb was that depending on when you search in the future, it can come up with different pages depending on if it's soon or if it's further away. But even with that, it was still much easier for users to navigate.
Okay, and after our test comparisons had been done, we decided to try and figure out some ways in order to fix or make improvements to these websites. With the PTV app site, we found that a lot of the people got lost using it through the many links and options, and some were becoming very confused about what the site was even for. And we believe that a more recognizable homepage, some simplification of the menu, could really improve how people react to the site. This is what we designed for the homepage. We moved the Mikey tabs up from the bottom of the page and simplified the journey planner aspect. We also added in a tab up the top, which is specifically for tourists of Melbourne, with the interaction of having information presented from tourists' perspectives. We also changed the background image to immediately reference public transport, the tram. With this page, we reference the much simpler menu system, which conveys simpler design for much better navigation, with a bit throughout the information could be portrayed with much more intuitively and allow visitors to enjoy their experience and achieve their goal on the site much quicker. Airbnb was a much more positive experience overall, but there were a couple of things to improve. The main concern was the confusion in seeing the different headings of stay, experience, and adventures, and we wanted to make these much easier to see and understand. The main thing we did was add a window on the homepage where you could switch between searching for the stay, experience, or adventure, so that way it was very easy to switch between them. We also increased the size of the titles, was something visitors often miss because it was too small. And thank you for listening.